10 states with the most cryptids in the U.S. Tales of enigmatic animals floating in lakes, lurking in forests, and frightening nearby communities abound throughout America. These cryptids, animals whose existence science is still unsure of, have grown to play a significant role in local folklore and continue to pique our curiosity. Some states are absolute hotspots for these strange and amazing creatures, even if every state has at least one well-known cryptid to boast about. These 10 states have the largest collections of documented cryptid sightings and legends, ranging from the murky swamps of the South to the foggy woods of the Pacific Northwest. West Virginia. West Virginia is essentially a cryptid heaven. Those remote mountain towns are adept at creating spooky folklore. The Mothman, who was originally seen in Point Pleasant in 1966, and gave the inhabitants the fear of their lives with its enormous wings and crimson eyes that seemed to shine in the dark, is unquestionably the state's most famous cryptid. A town-wide search was sparked by that sighting, and it has since become into a tourist attraction with its own yearly celebration. The Flatwoods Monster, a strange alien-looking creature with a spade-shaped head and blazing eyes that was observed in 1952, is also found in West Virginia. Thus, Mothman isn't alone. Stories about Tommyknockers, those mischievous spirits that tap on mine walls to warn miners when things are about to go south, also sprang from the state's numerous mines. Florida cryptid stories thrive in Florida because of the state's bizarre ecology mix. The Sunshine State's claim to fame is the skunk ape, which is essentially Bigfoot's foul-smelling cousin. It has a strong stench that will make you throw up. Imagine rotten eggs combined with skunk spray. The Everglades and marshy regions are where most people see this foul-smelling hominid, and it has generated such curiosity that a skunk ape research headquarters has been established. Numerous water monsters can be found in Florida's countless waterways, such as the muck monster in Lake Worth, and whatever may be hiding in the St. Johns River. Florida consistently produces fresh cryptid sightings every year due to its distinctive mix of marshes, dense cities, and tropical wilderness. California. With legends extending from the mountains to the coast, California's vast and diverse terrain is essentially a cryptid playground. The Dark Watchers, tall, shadowy beings who are said to materialize at dusk in the Santa Lucia Mountains merely to stare at hikers, scary, huh? Are just one example of what this vast state has to offer. Even more unnerving is the fact that these silent observers do nothing but monitor travelers. Tessie, a water monster that has been featured in local legends since Native American times, is Lake Tahoe's own Nessie copycat. While the Fresno nightcrawlers, strange creatures captured on surveillance cameras that appear to be nothing more than pairs of legs moving about, are one of the stranger, more contemporary cryptid phenomena, Northern California shares Bigfoot territory with other Pacific Northwest states. The monster population in California is as diverse as the state's varied environments. In Texas, everything is larger, even the list of cryptids. From the Lake Worth monster, also known as Goat Man, which terrified everyone in 1969, to the terrifying La Lechuza, an owl shapeshifter that allegedly kidnaps anyone who stray off alone, the Lone Star State is home to a wide variety of enigmatic animals. Texas is a vast state that has several ecosystems, each with its unique peculiarities, with several reports of seeing this blood-sucking animal, the chupacabra, also known as the goat sucker, truly took off in Texas. While East Texas has its own Bigfoot variation known as the Southern Sasquatch or Fook monster, Southern Texas shares the Mexican folklore of La Lechuza. Cryptids of all sorts have plenty of locations to hide in Texas because the state is home to a desert, forest, coastline, and swampland. Pennsylvania. The Appalachian Mountains and dense woodlands of Pennsylvania provide the ideal eerie backdrop for cryptid sightings. One of the strangest creatures in cryptid mythology must be the squonk. This legendary monster is said to be so hideous that it weeps all the time and will actually melt into a pool of tears if you catch it. Both Native American customs and contemporary sightings throughout the state mention the thunderbird, a huge bird that can create storms just by flapping its wings. In addition, Pennsylvania is home to a number of lake monsters, such as Raystown Ray, which is said to lurk in Raystown Lake. Cryptids like the bat squatch and other coal mine spirits, a perfect fusion of natural and industrial nightmares, have also emerged from the state's mixing of industrial past and untamed places. New Jersey manages to conceal many mysterious stories despite its dense population, the most well-known of which being the infamous Jersey Devil. For more than 250 years, people in the Pine Barrens have been terrified by this horrific creature, which has a forked tail, bat wings, and a horse-like face. The state's NHL team utilizes the tail as their mascot because it is so deeply ingrained in the local way of life. Beyond the devil, there are many tales of sea serpents along Jersey's long coastline, and the forests are said to be home to Big Red Eye, a cryptid similar to Bigfoot that is distinguished by its glowing red eyes. The Garden State is surprisingly conducive to monster legends, and it's kind of fascinating how New Jersey's mix of cities, swamps, woodlands, and beaches creates so many hiding places for cryptid stories to take root. Wisconsin cryptids almost thrive in Wisconsin's woodlands and several lakes. The beast of Bray Road, a werewolf-like creature initially seen in the late 1930s, close to Elkhorn with more recent sightings in the 1980s and 1990s, is unquestionably the state's main attraction. It was described as a bear-sized, wolf-like creature that can run on its hind legs, which naturally alarmed the locals and attracted national attention. The hodag, a strange creature with the head of a frog, the grinning face of a giant elephant, thick short legs set off by huge claws, the back of a dinosaur, and a long tail with spears at the end, is also found in Wisconsin. It has been a cherished local mascot since someone reported seeing it in the late 1800s. Water monsters like Rock Lake's Rocky and the Lake Pepin serpent, a cryptid hunter's paradise, can be found in the state's numerous lakes. Washington. For America's most well-known cryptid, Bigfoot, or Sasquatch if you're feeling pretentious, Washington is essentially ground zero. Every year, hundreds of people claim to have seen the enormous ape man in the Pacific Northwest's dark, foggy forests. The Tacoma Narrows Bridge octopus, a large 20-foot tentacled that appeared in local legend following the well-known collapse of the Tacoma Narrows Bridge, which many believe to be a giant Pacific octopus, is another game in Washington. Water monsters like Colossal Claude, a sea serpent that is said to hang out in the Columbia River, can be found in the state's many lakes and extensive coastline. Washington's cryptid environment is further complicated by Native American customs that discuss thunderbirds and other woodland spirits. At least in people's imaginations, the combination of isolated wilderness, mountains, coastline, and that continuous rain makes the ideal environment for cryptids to flourish. Michigan cryptid tales abound in Michigan's vast coastline and dense woodlands, with the Michigan dogman at the top of the list. Locals have been afraid of this two-legged wolfman since the late 19th century, particularly in the north. Many water monsters have emerged from Michigan's proximity to the Great Lakes, such as Pressy, or occasionally Bessie, a snake-like creature seen in Lake Superior and captured in those iconic fuzzy pictures that never quite prove anything. Bigfoot sightings are common in the isolated forests of the Upper Peninsula, while the woodlands of southern Michigan are thought to be home to the melonheads, diminutive, humanoid beings with enormous noggins. Urban cryptids like the Nain Rouge, a red dwarf who is said to appear in Detroit just before calamity strikes, are another product of the state's industrial past. With its many lakes, untamed forests, and industrial communities, Michigan has plenty to offer any kind of cryptid. Oregon Bigfoot sightings are centered in the deep woods of the Cascades and along the coast in Oregon, which shares the Pacific Northwest's fascination with cryptids. Beyond the well-known Sasquatch, Oregon is home to a number of unusual monsters, such as the agropelter, a woodland trickster that tricks loggers by throwing tree branches. Many sea serpent sightings have been reported throughout the coast, most notably Colossal Claude, a giant snake-like creature seen in the Columbia River, with reports increasing in the 1950s and 1960s. The Trinity Alps giant salamander, an extreme amphibian that is said to grow more than 6 feet long, is one of the many water monsters that are said to be hidden in Oregon's crater lakes and mountain waters. Oregon offers cryptids a wide variety of communities to haunt, including beaches, high deserts, and deep forests.